Namaskar, hello and welcome viewers. You're watching Committee Report with your host Kriti Mishra. Today we'll take a closer look at the report of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Transport, Tourism and Culture on India's tourism potential. Every region in India is identified with its handicraft, fairs, folk dances, music and its people. Hence, India is a country with a great potential for tourism. The tourism industry employs a large number of people, both skilled and unskilled. It promotes national integration and international brotherhood. There is no other country in the world which offers such a wide choice of destinations like India. So in this edition, let's analyze the challenges and opportunities for India in the tourism sector. Joining us is a very special panel of guests. Let's welcome them. Mr. Kamala Vardhana, Managing Director, ITDC, and Mr. Rajiv Mehra, President, Indian Association of Tour and Operators. I welcome both of you on Sansad TV and thank you so much for joining us. And Mr. Rao, let me begin the program with you. We've been talking about India's tourism potential. Now, India is ranked 10th as far as the contribution to the GDP in the space of travel and tourism is concerned. Now, we're talking about the destinations. Look at Himalayas, the beaches, the oceans, religious tourism. Your opening thoughts on India's tourism potential?
Yeah, lot. India, which is, as you have already mentioned, has got 7,500 kilometers of coastal line and almost 5 lakh square kilometers of Himalayas, and you have 105 wildlife sanctuaries and 530 national parks, rich cultural heritage and civilization with ASI monuments. More than 5,500 ASI monuments we have with us, and if you see the foreign footfall here now, it was in 2019 it was almost 12 million, yes. And domestic footfall is also increasing every year. We have a great scope to enhance this number. It's a great scope both for domestic tourism as well as international tourism, and we have many schemes in that. We have been trying to propagate along with these schemes with wide publicity both within the country and also outside the country. Definitely we have a great scope for telling the world about the richness about our civilizational aspects, richness about our heritage aspect and the richness about our natural aspects.
Right, so as you said, there are several schemes. We'll talk about it subsequently, but talking about the tourism potential and the current scenario, Mr. Mehra, we also have to talk about the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, of course, the pandemic was very unfair to all of us, but the onslaught on the travel and tourism industry was perhaps the hardest. Have things improved now?
Well, things have been very difficult for the last 2.5 years. We really had to shut our office. Staff were retrenched and there was hardly anyone, some of them retained. Gradually, offices are opening up now. Business is slightly coming in, but there are a lot of hurdles still which are there, which need to be addressed, some by the government, some by the private sectors, so that things could come back to normal, which I don't expect before October 2023. Till 31st of March, even if we get 1/3 of what we used to have in 2019-20, we'll be very happy with it. But there are hurdles which need to be removed urgently, because what is happening is the destination is becoming very expensive as compared to destinations still around us like Sri Lanka or Bali or Malaysia or Singapore. We are very expensive, and there are many factors to it. Airfares to India from anywhere are very high as compared to those even going to Colombo and other places. Flights have all resumed. Flights which were there earlier are all back, except flights to China are all back. We are not getting tourists from China. There are problems of e-tourist visa from UK, Canada, Malaysia and some other countries, especially hitting us from UK. For the e-tourist visa. The domestic market and the weddings have made the hotels very expensive at the moment. Very expensive. What we used to get for 5,000 rupees is today at 10,000 rupees.
Yes.
So the packages have gone up.
But that's good for you, isn't it?
No, not good, because foreigners do not want to pay that much. If they're getting a cheaper package around, they don't want to spend this much of money. So that is a very big problem about our packages.
All right.
But we are coming up.
Yes, Mr. Rao, you wanted to make a point.
I can just add to this.
Please go ahead.
Yes, the destination weddings, yes, it's happening in a very big way, and many people are going through Rajasthan. Udaipur as emerged as a base model destination wedding center, and so in other places also. But once the room rental is going, the tariff is going beyond 70,000 rupees per night in some of the hotels in Rajasthan. So it is not. It really affects the regular visitor, regular tourist cannot afford 70,000 rupees. So destination, since the hotels are also getting used to the 70,000, 80,000 per day thing, so it will have its own ripple effect on the common tourist who is going there, who wants to have an experience of a 5-star facility there. So we cannot really match that. That is the other aspect of it. But definitely, as he mentioned, that domestic tourism has really picked up in a very big way, and it's booming now.
Absolutely. Of course, that is after the onslaught of the pandemic. But sir, you talked about the challenges. I'd like to understand, are you referring to the regulatory hurdles? Perhaps Mr. Rao can take note of it.
Well, the government is aware of, especially the e-tourist visas. They are aware of it. Thanks to Mr. Rao and his colleagues in the ministry, we were able to go to the World Travel Mart in London last week with great efforts. The Ministry of Tourism was able to do that. And I'm quite hopeful that the fair, the Fatur fair in January and ITB in March will go through. We've already got a letter from them. So there are certain things which they are trying to do, but there are certain things which are beyond their control also. They have to depend on other ministries like e-visas. Now I was told on 7th of November that the file has been cleared by the External Affairs Minister and gone to the Home Ministry for notification. But today we are sitting on the 17th. 10 days gone, nothing has happened.
So before I go to my next question, would you quickly like to address this concern?
Yes, we are in touch with the Minister of Home Affairs, we are in touch with the Minister of External Affairs. So the discussion is happening, then we are sure we will try to resolve this as early as possible.
Let's hope the resolution is in sight. But since we were talking about the schemes as well, Mr. Rao, now there's Swadesh Darshan scheme, there's Prasad scheme. Now, we know that more than 15 circuits have been developed for these schemes. How do you see the change in the tourism sector post these schemes?
Very positive. Earlier, we were doing the development in a very, very haphazard manner. From 2014 onwards, once these circuits have been conceived, so the basic criteria for having any place as a circuit, to develop as a circuit, is that it should have minimum 3 destinations. So together, where there is a proper entry and the proper exit. So among these 3 destinations, then we have developed the entire scheme of these circuitous, like 15 circuits, like Buddhist circuit, wildlife circuit, Northeast circuit, tribal circuit, pilgrim spiritual circuit. So we have already spent more than 5,350 odd crores for 76 major projects. So under spiritual circuits alone, we have spent more than 15 destinations have been developed under this, and for wildlife circuit we have developed. Under Himalaya circuit we have developed more than 10 circuit. For example, I can give you an example like heritage circuit, Bardoli, Porbandar, and Ahmedabad. This is one. That is developed as one circuit in heritage site, like in Orcha and Khajuraho under heritage circuit, and coastal circuit also we have developed. And in eco-tourism circuit, there is a place in Kerala. People were not really going there, but yes, that has been developed. Vagaman, Pathanamthitta, and Gavi. So the new circuits when it have developed, Ramayana circuit and Krishna circuits, all circuits in a big way they have been developed. We have taken up in a big way, and the new footfall. People were not going earlier. Now they started going there. We have seen similarly Prasad scheme also. Prasad scheme is in what? Concentrating on pilgrim centers. Hazrat Bal in Kashmir, yes, we have developed. Somnath temple we have developed. 100 crores has already been pumped. Another 50 crores is lined up. Padmanabhaswamy Kshetram in Kerala we have developed. Amravati and Puri Jagannath. So you name the popular temple or any other spiritual destination under Prasad scheme. It can be a tourist facility center. It can be a souvenir shop. So it can be toilets. In fact, we are giving lot of importance to toilets and all, and thanks to the directions that are coming to us from Honorable Prime Minister about Dekho Apna Desh, which he has, yes, already given from the ramparts of Red Fort in 2019. He has mentioned that every citizen should see minimum 15 destinations. So in that direction, we are trying to spruce up this facilities, toilet facilities and other things, wayside amenities. We are seeing a significant change in the tourist inflow to these circuits.
Let me see if the industry perspective corroborates that. Sir, do you see this kind of impact on the ground of these schemes?
Definitely it is there. These kind of things are happening. And as far as the domestic market is concerned, they are seeing those things. International market, we will see the reactions when they start coming, because it's just trickling in at the moment. So foreigners do not go that much to the religious spots, at least. But yes, Puri is still famous with the foreigners. Haridwar, Rishikesh is still famous for foreigners. Banaras is something like selling like anything.
Yes.
I can mention about,
yes,
once
Mr.
you're talking about his international tourist thing. So the circuits, under Buddhist circuit, for example,
yes,
which we have developed, it has got international attraction in a big way. And you have seen the international airport also being inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister in Kushinagar. So where more than 110 monks from Sri Lanka, they came, all the ambassadors of the Buddhist nations, they were there present. It is an international program which was conducted in Kushinagar airport. So we are developing this Buddhist circuit, which has got international
acclaim. Absolutely.
People are coming from
but sir, we're talking about international tourists. Perhaps the biggest issue is the safety and security of the travelers. Now I understand that law and order is a state subject, but still, going ahead, do you think there'll be a way forward where we ensure safety and security so that we're able to attract maximum tourists from foreign nations?
I can definitely tell that India is one of the safest destinations for a tourist. So if you go to Johannesburg, there is an advisory. They will say that after 7 o'clock you should not go this lane. You go to New York in the downtown, there's mugging. India never heard about any kind of thing like mugging, and there's no street where people say that there's no marketplace. Or there is no hotel where people police give advisory saying that don't go there, you'll be mugged, and that's why I see the kind of the coastal destination that we have, the kind of cities that we have in the middle of the night, the restaurants which are flourishing there, we never see any untoward incident for any tourists, international tourists till now, but many other places, if compared to that, India is still the safest. We have recently conducted one DGP's conference which we spoke about tourist police. So tourist police is so active in this country, wherever there is a gathering of foreign international tourists, why international tourists, even domestic tourists also, he can travel there even at 12 o'clock in the middle of the night. And recently we received many Indians going there, cases who go there to European countries. Italy, for example, we receive, where we interact with ambassadors to receive the complaints of some of the Indians who's complain about theft. Their luggage is being lost or stolen. So we immediately contact the ambassadors there, high commissioners there, and try them. So that kind of situation doesn't happen in this country.
Absolutely, that is perhaps true.
I'll just add to this.
Yes, Mr. Mehra.
Mr. Rao was mentioning just now, Ministry of Tourism and Ministry of Home Affairs had conducted this meeting on tourist police. First time it happened when DGPs or senior officers of all the states and union territories were present there personally. And issue has been discussed, how the visibility should be there. The tourists, wherever they are going in numbers, should totally be covered. So that's a very good development, and it gives a very good sign to leave aside domestic to foreign tourists, that wherever we are going in that area which is the center of town or wherever the tourist attractions are, they are absolutely safe, and safe by the tourist police. They are even talking that on the tourist police they should have people speaking languages.
Exactly.
So that is also being done. So that's a very good initiative taken by the Ministry of Tourism with the Ministry of Home Affairs.
So you'd like to add to that?
Definitely, yes. We have more than 15,000 tourist guides here, and many of them are foreign speaking. Foreign languages are known to them very well. They are all well trained by us. So whenever there is a e-portal also, we just about to start on all the tourist guides can be one particular place on the e-marketplace. So we receive inquiries from the tourist operators and all regarding specific language spoken guides, and we train them very well. We have not received any kinds of complaints from any of the foreign international tourists regarding the tourist guides who speak foreign languages. And recently we have already trained more than 400 taxi drivers in Delhi. More than 100 of women taxi drivers and auto rickshaw drivers in foreign languages. Few words, Germany language, French language, and Spanish language. Few words, they feel very, very happy when they sit in the car and talk about the water. What do you have? You would like to have water. You want to go to restaurant. A few small words also. They are well trained by the Minister of Tourism.
Right, sir. I'd also like to touch upon another important aspect about the tourism policy. Now, of course, we have the draft in place. When do we see the final policy, and what does the policy offer for this country, for the tourists, and also for the industry?
See, the first time the National Tourism Policy was drafted in 1982, and after that again 2002 the new draft tourism policy was announced, and since then many experimentations have been happening, a lot of development is taking place. But the new tourism policy will be having, as per the directions of Honorable Prime Minister, who mentioned that it's a whole in government approach. It's a whole of government approach has to be adopted. Whereas, see, national highways, let's say for example, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, they spend 1,90,000 crores. Railway spends 1,30,000 crores. Okay. Now, Minister of Culture spends 3,000 crores. And Civil Aviation, this year's budget is 10,000 crores. Right. Ayush Ministry spends more than 3,000. All this whole in government of entire thing is helping in development of tourism in this country. So, we started having negotiations with all the central ministries, other line ministries, and the stakeholders and the state governments. So, and their concerns have been taken up. And so, the destination managements, most important is first identify the destinations and prepare master plans for that. And after that, management destinations. And we are coming up with some skills, some missions like, digital mission. Everybody would like to have some digital experience.
Right.
Now, this world is virtual reality world. Everybody goes there and sees that, he wants to have more experience of the digital world, so that kind of experience, earlier people are only going to visit and come back. Now they want an experience. So we would like to have all those aspects included in the draft policy. Of course, it is in the discussion stage, the draft stage. So certainly this policy is going to enhance the number of visitors, whatever we have been planning earlier, the targets we would like to achieve.
Mr. Mehra, expectations of the industry from the draft policy, of course, which is in place, but the final policy.
It is, we have read that policy, we have given our comments on that also. The most important thing is, which I have even written to the Honorable Prime Minister, is that tourism policy which is being made is excellent. Whatever shortcomings were, they have been addressed to by all our associations and other people also. But the problem is that Tourism Ministry does not control anything out of that. We have to depend on other ministries.
Yeah.
So I had even written to the Prime Minister saying that please let the Secretary Tourism head a committee of all secretaries of different ministries, so that this can be implemented, and wherever the secretaries are senior to the Tourism Secretary, the additional secretary can be a member of that. So this is what we had in writing suggested. We have told the ministry about these things, that unless until do this, there will be no good. Because sometimes the Home Ministry or the External Affairs Ministry or the Commerce Ministry takes decisions without consulting the stakeholders or the Tourism Ministry.
Absolutely.
It becomes a very big problem then.
Yes.
So there should be a committee headed by the Tourism Secretary, no one less than him. Because there were people saying let the Cabinet Secretary do it. Cabinet Secretary has 200 other things to do. Let the Tourism Secretary head it, and the key ministries. We can also, Mr. Rao also knows which are the ministries they deal every day. So those secretaries or additional secretary level officers, no one less than that, should be the member, so that decisions are taken. And even if they are taking some decision, like Home Ministry takes some decision, it will go to this committee first. Let them discuss this, and after they get the approval of the chairman, that is the Tourism Secretary, they could be implemented. Otherwise, it's no good.
I hope the policymakers are taking note of that suggestion.
I think so.
Definitely.
Yes, sir. But Mr. Rao, let's also focus on another important aspect, which is rural tourism. How do you plan to promote that?
So we have a mission on that, and rural tourism as an approach paper has already been finalized, and we are regularly in touch with the state governments, all the state governments. Ultimately, rural tourism is, the local district collectors, will have to implement that, and last mile connectivity is very important for this rural tourism.
Yes.
So most of the roads which are leading to the destinations in the rural areas are panchayat roads. State roads are the panchayat roads. So we are in touch with the state governments, and recently we held a meeting at Dharmashala of the Tourism Ministers Conference. This particular aspect of rural tourism and the last mile connectivity has been emphasized on that, and we have told them that please give some funds to the local panchayats where they can develop this last mile connectivity. So once it is developed, yes, people will have a rich experience of visiting the richness of the rural areas in this country.
Absolutely. I'm completely out of time. Let's take closing remarks from both the guests. Mr. Rao, making India a $5 trillion economy, the role of tourism.
Yes, tourism will definitely is going to play a major role coming future. Then Honorable Prime Minister has already told Indian diaspora outside when he went abroad recently, that saying that each and every Indian should get minimum 5 non-Indians to this. So 12 million people whom we received in 2019, and our Indian diaspora is more than 33 million. If each Indian citizen brings 5 people, it will be 150 million people are going to land up in this country, and we will definitely be taking the advantage of the China we are not able to go to China, and the war crisis and the crisis in Sri Lanka and all. They will definitely help with the great vaccination drive which has happened in this country, and with the safety and the security aspects also being propagated in a big way. We are sure that we will see a brighter future post-COVID in this country.
Absolutely, sir. Mr. Mehra, do you share his sentiments?
The main point here is that, again, I had written to the Prime Minister, sir, also, thanking him for this policy of his. The point is that unless until we have visible promotion outside, which is nil at the moment, unless until we have visible promotion, nothing will happen. Someone tells you to, a neighbor tells you to go to Vietnam, you will still not go. But if you see advertisements in the TV or the newspaper, then you might say, okay, let me go there. So unless and until the promotion which the Ministry of Tourism used to do abroad, which is stopped at the moment, needs to be done immediately without wasting any time.
Yeah.
Mr. Rao isn't agreeing with you. Mr. Rao isn't agreeing with you.
We are constantly in touch with all our Indian High Commissioners and Indian ambassadors. They are actively involved now in tourism development, and one of the mandates given to our Indian embassies abroad is tourism development overseas.
Absolutely. So let's hope that we develop as one of the most sought after tourist destination in the world.
Let's hope so.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Rao and Mr. Mehra.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Well, viewers, that's all I could pack for you in this edition. Thanks for watching and stay tuned to Sansad TV. Goodbye from my side for now.